it was a week. It was a week. You know, it was a week. Um,
I
we
know I did
are
horrible.
you. I wouldn't say horrible, but I would also say not good. Uh, you was 5-10 on the week. I was 7-8. So
Okay.
I had to scratch and claw my way, but now we tied 27-35.
Dog,
Um,
I cannot believe this week, man. Who saw any of this coming?
let's see. I'll tell you what, we both got screwed on. Because you said if Jordan Love plays, you wanted no part of the Jordan Love return,
Yes.
and Jordan Love did play. So we was both on Minnesota. We was both sitting pretty, feeling good, watching Minnesota destroy Green Bay, and then for whatever reason, Jordan Love just would not stay. Just would not say that he would not. He would not die. Jordan Love kept fighting, scratching, clawing, and they came back. Minnesota was giving. Oh no, I did that wrong. All right, we both got a game because Green Bay was given 2.5. So they lost. So yeah, okay, I take that back. So you was 6-9 and I was 8-8. I'll take that. You go ahead and update
Yeah.
that. All right, but yeah, no. What did you think about that game?
I didn't actually get to see the game, but it's exactly what I expected happened in that game. Jordan Love um, only had only got snaps from the first game. He missed two other games, and he came back this fourth game rusty as hell. Um, he didn't. I mean, he didn't get back into his groove into the second half. That's why I feel like they came back. But I feel like the decision to start him is what lost the Packers that game. Just like I said, Malik Willis should have started and played that game. You don't bring back your hurt quarterback who's missed 2 weeks in a division rival game. Especially, I mean, even though you know Jordan Love is your starting quarterback, it's not like Malik Willis was playing horrible and he's on a hot streak, and you don't mess that streak up with someone who hasn't played in 2 weeks and is potentially not at 100%.
Um, yeah. I mean, I kind of disagree. Uh, Only because the only way that I say that Malik should have started was if the Packers was in the same boat as us, as in their bye week was this week. So if you had one more game, even two more games before the bye, okay, you sit him down. But you know, you just gave him that contract. You know, he getting antsy watching Malik Willis do such a good job, so he's gonna want to go out there. So, you know, I kind of let it happen, but I understand what you're saying though, and I agree. If Malik Willis would have played that game, who knows how that game would have turned out?
I feel like, I mean, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, it could have went either way, but the odds are that, like I said, the odds are with uh with how Malik has been playing, he would have been more in tune at the beginning of the half. And like I said, eventually, like you said, eventually Love got it together, but it took him a whole half. And I feel like that's a half Malik wouldn't have needed, you know what I'm saying? And it would have gave him a better opportunity to stay in that game. Um, I feel like if you set Jordan Love one more week, it gives him more of a chance to become healthy, and you're not starting him in a game that you need to, you know, put towards your no towards your a conference interconference game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying start. I'm not saying start. No, keep starting. I'm not saying keep starting Malik over Jordan Love. It's just the timing of it.
Yeah, yeah. But then I ask you, Malik Willis wins that game and then you sit him down?
Well, I mean, you always knew that. Malik knows, and Jordan Love always knows who the starter was.
Yeah, but the fans, the fans want whoever the best player is. Bump all the titles and money and all of that. It's about who's the best player. And if you start letting this guy build up to be a cult hero, that's a dangerous position to be in. Imagine if Jared Goff went down for 2 weeks and Hendon Hooker went out there and won 2 straight games, and then we put him in there for a third one against the division, and then Goff came out. It's a slippery slope, man. But anyway, Minnesota.
Let me ask you one quick question, real quick. Let's say Goff did get hurt, and that happened just the way you said, but for that third game, they didn't tell you that Goff was ready to go. They said he was still hurt, and they put in Hendon Hooker again. And the next week they said after that third game, even though Hendon Hooker won, they said Jared Goff is finally healthy. Would you still want Hendon Hooker in for that fourth game?
Would I still want Hendon Hooker in for that fourth game? I mean, I would want Jared Goff in, but I would want Jared Goff in. But the moment Jared Goff started to do bad, I would be like, wow, maybe Hendon Hooker should be in this game. And people and there are Packers fans. It doesn't matter who the team is, whoever the team is, when they see the backup do well, like that first game, they're gonna see the backup do well, and there's gonna be like 3% of fans that are like, wow, this kid has got it. And then he was gonna win that next game. And then the number goes up to like 10% of fans, like, oh man, this kid is pretty good. And then you see him for a third game, and the number just keeps rising and rising. And it starts to create a pressurized situation that these organizations definitely don't want. They don't want that smoke.
Yeah, I get you. I just feel like Malik would have won that game for him. But neither here nor there. The next game,
Denver went to New York, or New Jersey, really. Denver went to take on the Jets. Jets were given 7.5. I was on Denver, and you said 7.5 is a crazy number. we was both on Denver, and Denver ended up winning that game. Aaron Rodgers, man, I was thinking about Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers is cooked or washed or anything like that. But at the same time, Aaron Rodgers is like a game manager now. And he's a real good game manager, but like he's not going to throw the ball 40 times a game or anything like that. He's just going to kind of manage the game the whole time. He's going to make the right pass, and it's crazy because Garrett Wilson is a great route runner and a good, great intermediate to short route runner. And you think that would work well with Aaron Rodgers, but their offense just isn't clicking. Breece Hall had a terrible game. There's something going on with their offense.
Yeah, man. I saw the game last week with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers lost me a bet, man. I had Aaron Rodgers lost me $200. I had a bet that I just needed Aaron Rodgers to score 2 touchdowns, and I said Aaron Rodgers against the Denver Broncos, he'll get that. And he did not get that. He did not get that at all. I'm not even sure that he had a touchdown. I think they kicked 3 field goals for that game. And like I said, last week, I saw Aaron Rodgers, a resemblance of what he was before the injury. And I was in the camp of Aaron Rodgers is back. Aaron Rodgers is not back. I'm with you. He is not washed, but he is not the Aaron Rodgers of old. The Aaron Rodgers of old would at least put up some numbers in that game, and he put up none. I can't see him not putting up none. So, but it is still early in the season. We will get to see if this is true or not, because it's only game 4. But I'm gonna keep a close eye on what he does. but until he proves to me that he can be what he think he is, I'm not gonna have as much faith as in him as I had before.
Um, the other thing is, I'm trying to tell you, Denver Broncos defense is a thing. Larry
Hard
Tunsil,
to see.
most penalized player in football. Terrion Arnold, number 2. But there's hope because Patrick Surtain just got the contract, all-star cornerback for the Denver Broncos. He's the 3rd most penalized player in football, tied with a couple other guys. But all that to say that just because Terrion's constantly being penalized don't mean he's a bad player.
I
Uh,
like Tinsel at U of M, and he was a good player at U of M. Like I said, man, they're rookies, man. They gotta go through their steps and learn how to play in the NFL. What worked in college is not gonna work in the NFL.
New Orleans went to Atlanta. We was both on New Orleans. Atlanta messed around and won that game.
Yeah, man. Once again, another surprise for me. I did not think that Atlanta was going to win that game. I got into a big argument with my cousins about how good Kirk Cousins is, and same situation with Aaron Rodgers. Is Kirk Cousins washed up? And my cousins were arguing the fact that no, he's not. I was arguing that no, he hasn't done anything all year besides the comeback win in the last few minutes of the Eagles game. And I saw that the Falcons won, and I was like, well, maybe I was wrong. But then I went and looked at the stats, and nobody on Atlanta had a touchdown. Like, not Kirk Cousins, not any of the receivers, not any of the running backs. I don't know how they won that game. It's a mystery. But I Kirk Cousins still has something to prove to me as well. He had over 200 yards, but he was like 21 of 35, and like I said, no touchdowns, and he threw an interception. So I don't know how to feel about that game. Kirk Cousins, with those stats, Kirk Cousins still hasn't proven to me that he's back or that he's the guy to lead Atlanta into the future. Once again, it's only week 4. I mean, we'll see what the future brings, but right now, I'm still on the boat that Kirk Cousins is not the guy. But I mean, still a surprising win. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. I don't have faith. I still don't have that much faith in them.
I was able to see a little bit of that game, and Atlanta's defensive line surprised me. They had a goal line stop later on in that game. Taysom Hill, every now and every now and then Taysom Hill just decides he's gonna get multiple touchdowns in the game, and that was one. Sunday he had multiple touchdowns, but he got hurt, and once they lost him, their offense was never really clicking all day. And on top of all of that, special teams really helped Atlanta. I know New Orleans muffed the punt basically at their goal line. And Young Way Cool, kicker. He had a hell of a day. I think he hit like a 59-yard field goal to win the game or something like that. So it was a battle. It was a real defensive, ugly battle. Kirk Cousins, yeah, I don't know about Kirk Cousins, but at the same time, I'm not fully on board with the quote unquote weapons that he has. But they need to figure out how to get Bijan. Bijan's getting yards, but he's not really scoring. I think it's still some room for them to incorporate more Bijan into their game plan.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Philadelphia.
They didn't know how to use Bijan last year.
Well, that's a new coach now, so I mean, he's getting yards. He's just not finishing drives for whatever reason. Philadelphia went to Tampa Bay. We was both on Philly. Philly is you don't know, you never know what you're gonna get with Philly. But we shouldn't have counted out Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay pulled that game out.
Yeah, man, I feel the same way about Tampa Bay. You never know what you're gonna get out of Baker Mayfield. It could go either way with Baker. He's always been that way. Either you can get a dud game out of him, or he could look like an all-star MVP. And I guess this was one of the weeks where he was on. I was not expecting them to beat. I was not expecting them to beat Philly, but like you said, you never know what you're gonna get out of Philly either. So another surprise game for me. I was sure that Philly would take this game, but what I will say was with this loss, I'm slowly losing more and more confidence in Philly.
The one takeaway from this game was that the two Detroit guys in the Philly secondary looked like they was kind of getting cooked all day. I don't have a vendetta against C.J. Gardner Johnson, but my Twitter feed does. So I'm constantly
Are you
reminded
sure?
of. I got nothing against C.J. Gardner Johnson. He gone. He gone. I got nothing against that man. I didn't want him here. But yeah, now he gone. And then I love Darius Slay. But yeah, every time I looked up Mike Evans or Chris Godwin, and then Baker just started clowning. He was throwing the guys I never heard of in the end zone for touchdowns. So yeah, he was carving up that secondary all day.
I love Darius Slay. He might be one of my. I mean, maybe it's biased because he was a Lion, but he might be one of my favorite DBs. But he's getting old, man, and I mean, age catches up to everybody. It looks like it's excuse me, and it looks like it's finally catching up to Darius Slay. Uh, he's still a good DB, but I don't know how much longer he can maintain and hold that up in the league. At some point, time catches up to everyone. Um, so at one point, Jalen Ramsey was the best DB in the league, but I don't even have that type of faith for him anymore. And you know what I'm saying, it seems like time is catching up with Darius Slay as well. So I mean, love the guy, man, but you can't play forever.
Yeah. No, it's nothing. Yeah, he's he's not a shutdown corner anymore by any means. Tampa Bay. Oh, okay. Cincinnati went to Carolina. We was both on Cincinnati, and Cincinnati finally got their first win of the season.
Yeah, man. I mean, no surprises there. Finally, a game that went according to plan. Cincinnati had a good game against. I mean, not Cincinnati. Carolina had a good game against New Orleans last week, but I had no faith that Andy Dalton could keep this up against a team like Cincinnati. As bad as Cincinnati has been messing up, there's no way I believe that they were going to go 0-4. So, that was kind of all according to plan. I don't know what's in the future for Carolina. They look better with Andy Dalton, but they're not going to beat any elite teams. And not that I can say that Cincinnati is an elite team anymore. They kind of just like above average with the way they've been playing. But yeah, no surprises there.
Jacksonville went to Houston. We was both on Houston. Jacksonville ends up covering, and did they win the game? Jacksonville, no, they lost. But Jacksonville covered. They lost by 4. Houston won.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't. Same thing for Jacksonville. Even though they covered, I feel the same way about Jacksonville that I feel about I feel the same way about Jacksonville that I feel about the Carolina, man. Um, Even though they won, if it wasn't for Tennessee and Miami, I would say Jacksonville and Carolina were the worst teams in the league. But no, Miami and Tennessee said no. We're the worst teams in the league. You cannot take this away from us, and they proved it by having one of the worst games of all time.
Jacksonville is who we thought they were, but if anything, I will give them credit because I thought that they had quit, but they definitely came out. But honestly, the real takeaway is that I'm Houston is 3-1, but their last 3 games they've looked, they haven't looked unstoppable as we kind of built them up going into the year. Going forward, we can
Well,
see
one
what that looks like.
one thing about Houston is Joe Mixon still didn't play, right?
No.
Yeah, I think once they get Joe Mixon back, they'll return to form.
Well, they got a pretty good test this Sunday against Buffalo. Well, that'll be a fun game.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Pittsburgh. Oh my goodness. Team for the network. Pittsburgh went to Indianapolis. Indy was given 2.5. I'm sorry, Indy was getting 2.5. We was both on Pittsburgh, and Justin Fields gave it his all. But you want to talk about slow starts? Pittsburgh started that game off so slow, and Indy took a nice lead. Anthony Richardson got hurt, and didn't matter. Joe Flacco came in and brought it on home.
Yeah, man. The Colts came in and they tested our theory of you never get bet against Mike Tomlinson, but Joe Flacco came in and brought back a forgotten rule that everybody forgot about. Never count out Joe Flacco. And the best thing that could have happened to the Colts that game is Anthony Richardson got hurt. Not that I think that Anthony Richardson.
He put up 14 in the first quarter.
Who, Anthony Richardson?
Yeah.
I mean, like I was getting ready to say, I don't think Anthony Richardson is a bad quarterback. I feel like he needs time and he needs to gain some experience because he does have an arm. He can put up points on you. He is mobile. He can run, but he also makes bad decisions. And no, you can have all the athleticism and have all the potential in the world, but if you make more bad decisions than good decisions, it's always going to come back to bite you in the ass. And I think what the coach needed was just somebody with experience and somebody who came in level-headed and somebody not to get a ball away. And usually Anthony Richardson gives more turnovers than he does touchdowns, and that's usually what loses them the game. So I think that was for the Colts, Flacco coming in was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I take that back. Flacco did come in the first quarter, so yeah, no, you're right. And the first touchdown was a Jonathan Taylor touchdown, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes for Indy. They needed that win. Going forward, do you go with Joe Flacco or do you rest up Anthony Richardson? That'll be interesting to see.
Well, I mean, like I said, man, I think Anthony Richardson needs the snaps. He is going to be your quarterback of the future. So to your point earlier, Anthony Richardson is your starter. You don't want him to lose confidence. So even though he does needs, I think Anthony Richardson will flourish under a better a team that develops quarterbacks better. Like I don't know. We saw what Green Bay did with Malik Willis. So maybe he's not the team to. I mean, maybe Indianapolis is not the team to develop quarterbacks, but he needs as many snaps as he can get. He needs as much experience as he's gonna get. I think you go down with the ship this season, let him get as much experience as he can, work with him this offseason, and try again next year.
That's funny you say that because I'm the opposite on this situation than I am on Malik Willis and Jordan Love because, like you said, Anthony Richardson is the quarterback is your quarterback for the future. Everybody knows Joe Flacco has only so much time left. So, if you want to ride Joe Flacco for however long, the fans aren't going to get mad when you put Anthony Richardson back in because, I mean, what do they think? Joe Flacco's going to play for 3-4 more years? Like, you kind of know what it is with Joe Flacco. Whereas Malik Willis and Hendon Hooker, those guys are younger than their current starters. So I'm all right with it. If they want to ride Joe for a minute, I'm cool with that. No. The LA Rams went to Chicago. You took the Rams. I took Chicago.
Lucky pick.
Chicago. Well, I said the Chicago offense was so bad. Maybe that playing against the Rams defense would let Caleb Williams get a taste for success in the league. Caleb Williams really didn't do all that much. Every time I did turn it on, he was overthrowing somebody in the red zone. But I know you bring up DJ Moore a couple times, and he finally hit DJ Moore in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. And my favorite thing watching a Rams game is the commentator's reaction when Matthew Stafford throws an unbelievably bad pick. And they're like, oh, that is just so uncharacteristic of Matthew Stafford. I can't believe he threw that bad interception. I just feel like you guys are Lions fans. But Chicago pulled that game out.
Yeah, man. I was surprised. I was surprised by that. Hey, man. Like you said, man. I mean, if you throw it up enough times, if you throw it up enough times, one of your receivers got to come down with it eventually, right? So, I mean, that was just his time to shine. I still think he has a long. I'm not gonna once again feel the same way about him that I felt about Anthony Richardson. Not saying that he doesn't have a future, but he's got a long way to go.
Oh, he definitely got a long, long way to go.
Yeah, man. Chicago defense probably. I didn't catch that game either. I was working Sunday, so I missed a lot of games. But I feel like Chicago's defense probably held them in that game. And like I said, everybody shines every now and then. So hey, Will Levis won a game. Who would have thought?
Kind of. We'll get there. Washington went to Arizona. We was both on Arizona. But this Washington team, man, they look like it might be something to it.
Yeah, man. I picked Arizona because did I pick Arizona?
Yeah, we was both on Arizona.
Yeah, man. I picked Arizona because I felt like Jaden Daniels was inexperienced, man. I always believed in his talent, but I just felt like he needed more and more experience. But the more he plays, he's proving me wrong. Like maybe he has all the experience he needs. Maybe he just needed those first two games, and now he's got the hang of it. I'm not saying that he doesn't have room to learn and room for improvement, but he's killing it right now, man. And Washington is looking like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
It's funny because usually I think the NFL community does a bad job of putting stock into the current Heisman Trophy winner. I kind of feel like they kind of just blow that off like, it's college. But I usually put a lot of stock into that. And for whatever reason, with Jaden Daniels, it's probably because I never ever got a chance to watch Jaden Daniels. And but I didn't put any stock into Jaden Daniels coming into the season. And watching the man, all I know was that he could run and he could throw, and that's what he's doing with Washington. They got a great little setup for him down there. Brian Robinson Jr. is having a good year. They this is 2 weeks in a row that they've blown out teams. So we'll see what happens from here. I got to peek ahead, see who they playing next. Washington is playing. Washington plays Cleveland. Oh, okay. They got Cleveland next, and then they got Baltimore after that.
Ooh, sneak peek into the bet it up 1-1. I guess y'all can guess who that's gonna be, but you had to tune in later for the names.
Next up, we got New England going to San Francisco. San Francisco was given 10, which you thought was just too big a number. So you took New England, and I took San Francisco just on the strength of I needed to win the game, and I was like, well, if it's gonna be somebody, I'll ride with San Francisco. And San Francisco went in there. My prediction was that we was gonna see Drake May in this game. New England was fine with just getting their teeth kicked in, so no Drake May. Not a whole lot to say about this game.
Yeah. Who would have thought 10 wouldn't be enough?
Yeah. New England's offense looks not good.
Yeah. Hey, I can tell you one thing: won't make that mistake again.
Same thing with this game. This one didn't hurt. This one ended up being a push. But you took the LA Chargers. I took Kansas City. Chargers were getting 7. The Chiefs ended up winning by 7, so it was a push. Rashee Rice, still no word on his injury and how much time he's looking to miss. I heard somewhere that they won't know. Andy Reid said they won't know until next week. So, which again, I asked, where are they getting this guy's knee tested at?
I'm not sure, man. Maybe it's a complicated fracture or whatever it is, and they just need more tests, or maybe they just want to make sure that the first test said what it said. But I don't know, man. Hopefully it's not is they need another look, because it's actually not as bad as they think it is. So maybe he'll be back.
Yeah, at this rate, man, this is the worst 4-0 Kansas City Chiefs team we've ever seen. They they're still 4-0. They went out and they found Kareem Hunt. But he had a good game, decent game. 60, I think he had like 60, 70 yards. But yeah, man, I feel pretty confident saying that I don't think this Chiefs team is gonna go for a three-peat this year.
I'm not sure, and it kills me to say this, but I like Patrick Mahomes, and I didn't like Tom Brady, but Patrick Mahomes has the same problem that Tom Brady had. No matter what's going on, he finds ways to win, and that's what's special about him. This team could be the terriblest team that walks the face of the earth, but Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid find ways to win, and that is why they're 4-0 now, because they should have lost They should have lost every single one of these games. But here we are standing 4-0, and I think that's going to continue.
Chiefs should have lost this game, but they won because of a lot of what I saw this weekend, which was head scratching coaches' decisions. I think Jim Harbaugh had an opportunity to kick a field goal. It would have cut the deficit to 4, but they went for it and they didn't get it. Also, this new I do not understand. Matt LaFleur loves doing it because this is the second time I've seen him do it. This whole when you're down big, you just go for 2 because 2 is more than 1. The Seahawks did it last night, and I just don't understand the logic behind it. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. And Minnesota's coach, he did something dumb to me in that game too, but I think the Chiefs should have lost this game, to be honest with you.
Well, like I said, the Chiefs should have lost all of them games. The Ravens only lost by a toe. I think a game last week they got a pass interference call that wasn't called. Something happened in the second game. I can't remember who they played, but they should have lost that game as well. But like I said, man, the same thing that a champion has. You don't always have to be good. Sometimes you got to be lucky, and sometimes you just got to know how to win. And I think that's mainly what the Chiefs got going for them.
Chiefs are not going to the Super Bowl. Cleveland went to Las Vegas. We was both on Cleveland. Las Vegas had no Max Crosby, no Devontae Adams, no problem. Las Vegas, did they win this game? Yes, Las Vegas won this game.
They won.
We thought that we was betting against the Raiders, but we didn't sit down and realize that we were betting on the Browns to actually do the right thing. And they did not. Amari Cooper, by the way, had a football hit him right in his chest and bounced it up in the air for an interception. Like Deshaun Watson wasn't as bad. He didn't have great numbers, but I'm not putting this all on Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, man. No, I don't want to be the one to jump out on this limb and defend Deshaun Watson because he hasn't been playing good. But the talk that I hear about Deshaun Watson is like he's the worst quarterback in NFL history. And when I look at the games or the highlights, it doesn't just look like it's just him out there messing up on his own. It's like sometimes he makes the pass and his receivers aren't helping him out. So, or he's back there running for his life. Like, how can he make a comfortable pass if the line isn't blocking for him? So, while I feel like the Browns do have a legitimate problem, I can't solely place it on Deshaun Watson.
I won't put it on Deshaun Watson this game. I'll just leave it at that. The Buffalo Bills went to Baltimore on Sunday Night Football, and oh my God, Baltimore showed up to the 2024 season that night.
It's about time, man. Baltimore came out, and I picked. I think I picked Buffalo because they were hot.
We both on Buffalo.
I picked Buffalo because they were hot, and Baltimore because, like I said, all season is looked like they've had something missing, but it looked like both teams reverted back to a shell of their former selves last year, and they both became those teams. And Baltimore looked great. Buffalo, I don't know what was going on with Buffalo, but Baltimore finally had everything click. They finally learned how to use Derrick Henry. I mean, Derrick Henry's been having a hell of a season, but really last game, he had 199 yards. I don't know why they didn't couldn't give him the ball to make it 200, but whatever. Yeah, man, they finally clicked. Now, if they can keep that up for the rest of the season, maybe they can become the Baltimore of old. And if they play like that every game, you might be right, and Baltimore could be in the championship instead of the Chiefs.
Last game we got Tennessee went to Miami for a very forgettable game. I was on Tennessee. Will Levis, shocker. Will Levis hurt himself in the first quarter, diving for the first down, and he looked like he was ready to go in the entire game. And they just kept on finding reasons for him not to. Like, hey, Will, why don't you look at this iPad real quick? Like, look at
Right.
this picture. Like, isn't this crazy? Can you believe this? I don't think they were showing the football players. I just think they were showing them funny YouTube videos.
Will, your shoe was untied, man. Take Will in the back and get him a new pair of shoes.
It's bad when you can't get back in the game for Mason Rudolph. They rolled Mason Rudolph all the way. It was an ugly game. Tennessee pulled it out. Miami looks all out of sorts.
But let me ask you this though. Even though Will Levis went out in the first quarter of the game, did he still manage to throw himself an interception?
Bruce, that's like asking me, is the sky blue? Is grass green? Does the wind blow? Will Levis again, my man, went out there and found another new creative way to throw an interception. He threw an interception to a defensive lineman, hit the defensive lineman like in the hands. The ball fell in between the defensive lineman's legs. He squeezed it with his legs, came down to the ground, came up with an interception. So, yeah, man. Of course, he threw a pick. What are the Tennessee Titans going to do going forward? That's an interesting question.
Man, they have got. I mean, at what point do you bench Will Levis, man? I mean, is he your future? Or, I mean, do you just kind of, do what San Francisco did? I mean, I know San Francisco found Brock Purdy, but when do you take your losses and just bench Will Levis?
Or do you keep playing him knowing that he's going to lose you games, and then you basically have him get you the number one pick for his replacement?
That is an option. I mean, that is an option.
Yeah.
The Lions game was on, so I did not watch the Miami game. Speaking of that game, Tyler Huntley played for Miami, and I expected Waddle and Tyreek Hill to get some yards. The last time I checked, and I realized that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle weren't going to cover my spread. Tyreek Hill had 6 yards. What happened?
It was so when Tyler Huntley got traded, you couldn't wait for him to get out there, and I was like, it's gonna take some time because they're gonna want to break him in, and then he missed the first game he got traded. I think he missed last week's game, and then they was like, all right, Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle are not the answer. Let's give him a shot. And bro, they ran so many swing passes. Like, remember when the Lions kept running those swing passes to Jahmyr Gibbs, and it felt like they threw it like 10 times in the backfield?
Right.
No, the Miami Dolphins literally threw it. Like, every time I turned to it, they were throwing a swing pass. And it wasn't just to the running backs. It was to, Waddle's back there. They threw one to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill missed the catch and bobbled it and just let the ball go on the ground. Turns out it was a backwards pass, fumble recovered by the defense. That game was just an embarrassment. Mike McDaniel looked like he just wanted to go home. He looked like I can't make that analogy. I'll just say he looked like it was his birthday party and somebody was eating his cake. I'll just leave it like that. and everybody and his mom told him don't trip out and ruin the party. And like he just not look happy at all. But Miami's got to come up with something. The only answer for real is Tua coming back. I think Tyler Huntley's going to have another week of getting to know this offense, so he's not going to look this bad next week, and it should look a little bit better. But right now, Miami's season is not looking good.
Do you think Tyler Huntley will be able to throw down the field next week, or is it just that Tyler Huntley can't throw down the field? I mean, because he was throwing down the field in Baltimore, right?
Yeah, no, it's not that he can't throw down the field. It's just that he don't know the offense. That's all.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We will see. We will see what they do next week. Because as of right now, not the Jets. Tennessee, Miami, and the Giants are in a ladder match for the worst team in the league.
Let's see real quick before we close it. I close my computer. Let me see if this is low. Yeah, it will. Real quick before we close it. Thursday night football. Tampa Bay is going to Atlanta. Atlanta's giving 1.5.
Damn.
Oh, you know what? I said I was gonna flip it around. I'm gonna let you make the second pick this week. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. 1.5 isn't that much, and although they do, I do like Atlanta's defensive line a lot, but they won that game against New Orleans. It was honestly pretty fluky. So I'm gonna take Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I kind of want to take Tampa Bay too, but see, damn, you can't count Baker Mayfield out, and Kirk Cousins. Even though they won, man, I'm just not impressed with Kirk Cousins. But I am impressed with Bijan, and I don't know if Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey are back, but I feel like you said, if they can find ways to get Bijan the ball and he can get in the end zone, I do believe in that. So I'll take Atlanta just to go against the grain.
Not mad at it. It'll be a pretty good Thursday game. Usually Thursday games are bust, but this might be pretty good.
Atlanta has a tendency to be kind of boring. They have their flashes. Bijan is exciting to watch. Baker Mayfield. It'll be average. It'll be okay, guy.
That's all I got, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said earlier, shouts out to the Tigers. You got a final? You got an updated score?
I don't.
Okay. Well, shouts out to the Tigers. Go Tigers. Go Lions. And until next week. Oh, we're doing a show next week. We're going around the league next week as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be here next week. The Lions don't play, so we'll do a straight up, bet it up segment, and we will catch you guys next week. Until then, peace.
Detroit!